monster design. Okay. That would be this then. Hey Atsuki, good morning. So one thing I'm thinking about is I like elements of all three sketches I did on Friday. There's something with the far right one, this one, the interesting negative space between those shapes is kind of cool. But I don't like that they're crabs. It's kind of overdone, boring. It's not exciting. Maybe half humans. Maybe like a crab human. In that way, the torso could be like that, right? And walking on all fours of sorts. Hey, Captain Boss, how's it going? I like the idea of interlocking limbs. I like the spindly feeling. I like the expanding idea. Like crunch together. And I also think I gotta... Hey, Pie Master. How's it going? And I also think I gotta have a second material. So it's not just all. And in that sense, you can also show the weakness when they decompress. Hey, bromance. What's up, Pro42? Captain Jetlag. So today I will sketch more on the crab. I'm trying to design it, trying to make sense out of it. So without further ado, let's do it. Hey Miguel, how's it going? What's up, Miguel? Right, so where I am at currently is I don't like any of the shapes up top. So what I gotta try to think about is like, let's break the design into smaller pieces. You know, like what is the basic shapes that is interesting to look at. And there's so many different possibilities of what we're looking at, right? It's just all down to however you want to distribute the information. So that's currently my issue, is that yes, I have a basic idea of the creature. I don't have the rhythm of the creature. So what if I'll go with the idea of a half human-like proportions? Hey, Vanity's Fall. Froax and Frenchy Frencha. Frenchy Frencha makes me think about like a hot dog line. Like a hot dog brand that's like a little bit deluxe, high-end hot dog line. Frenchy Frencha. Oh, I want a Frenchy Frencha hot dog. That's what I think every time I see Frenchy Frencha. There's this French hot dog, whatever they're called. It's like a hot dog in a baguette. It's called a French hot dog in Sweden. Hey, Fight Milk. Bruno Romanos, what's happening? An American sandwich. That's hilarious. Freshy, freshy. Yeah, do that. I mean, it's gold. It's gold. Hey, Vale. Vale. That's all good, man. Bromance. You eat them like a true Swede. Yeah, I bet you do. With a kind of mayo dressing inside, just swimming in it. Vale. All right, that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you like it. Slumped, what's up? Mayo and hot dog. It's not like a really mayo, but it's like a mayo. Swedes are weird. In terms of food, the Swedish nightlife takeaway selection is some seriously messed up food combinations. It's almost like an obligatory uh, eating if you're a tourist in Sweden. Go at nightlife and eat some of those hamburger stands, whatever horrible combination drunk Swedes conjure up. Fight milk, yeah, you should. There is one thing, I don't know if it's popular anymore, but it used to be, and it's flatbread, like really, really thin flatbread, mashed potatoes, shrimp salad, which is shrimp and mayo and or heavy cream, kinda, and spices, hot dog, mustard and ketchup, and you and a mash. I said mash, and you roll it into a cylinder and then you eat it. That's the good stuff. So here's this kind of half human shape. I kind of like them a little bit more standing up. It gives them room to grow. I think we're definitely onto something here in terms of style of proportions, and it's readable. I think that's the biggest thing here. It's clean. I think on the other concepts up above, it's not so clean. It's quite messy and unpure. Here you could almost sketch the basic shape and people would understand what you're talking about. Hey Amir, the nostalgia in my voice. Classic Swedish shit. Slumpen Boys. The concept above I recorded on Friday because I had internet issues on Friday, where while I did those sketches, I kind of walk you through my thought process of what I want these creatures to be and where I'm struggling. So it's quite you're being handheld through my thought process more or less. So if in concept art. So if you that sounds like an interesting listen. I mean, some of you quite enjoyed that recording, where I'm literally discussing the thoughts I have while sketching, what works, what doesn't work, so on. Hey, Shithi, what up? Sharsa, what's happening? Yeah, I like that cavity aspect as well. That's why I started adding it here in the concept. There is a certain elements in this that in the all three that I quite enjoy. The problem which I'm having on the top three ones above is the design isn't strong enough. The shape isn't strong enough. If you think about it like this, you know, like what's the recognizable shape, and it's not that strong. It's not that interesting, but it did generate good ideas, which is, you know, what's important. And then whatever it looks like, you can figure out later. The ideas are the hard part. Slumped Boys, yeah, the idea of them, which you will hear if you listen to the stream from Friday, which is only on YouTube, by the way. It's not VOD on Twitch because I had issues streaming. So I just recorded it locally and threw it up on YouTube. Through No, for me it's the other way around because technically I am well versed in what I'm doing, right? I don't struggle with technique. Knowing how to draw something is not the problem. Knowing what to draw and why I draw it and the combination of the shapes and so on, that's the challenge. It's not so much of drawing a circle, you know. It's more of like, why is there a circle there? Could it be a triangle instead? What's the purpose of that circle? What do I want to say with drawing that circle? And at the beginning, really, you have all this mountain of technique ahead of you, which stops you from that kind of thinking most of the cases. And even though a lot of times, at least for me, you have a great idea, you start drawing it, and you stumble on technique, and you can't visualize your idea because you can't make it. Captain Both, do it, do it. Hey, Ricky, how's it going? Anyways, where was I? About these creatures, right? So on the Friday stream, I talked about these creatures, right? That they are. It's between the Axis and the Americans in subterranean lava tunnels in second Earth, inside Earth, you know, hidden world type deal. Um, Maybe they could have like a head like an ant. That would be pretty freaky. Make them non-character insect. Kaleri, how's it going? Anyway, so let me just quickly show you what I showed on Friday. Just so you guys are on the same page. Come on. So the world I'm building, or I started to build. Oh, nice. Someone is paying tribute to ripping off. As I was starting to do a couple of years back, there was this kind of high pressure suits between the Axis and the Americans, and they would wage war in old lava tunnels inside Earth, right? So they have to have pressure suits, and they have tanks, all sorts of things, right? So it's set in the world of diesel punk. They have, you know, like Second World War aesthetics, but more elaborate. Veil. Yeah, sure. I'll do a character next. Um, right. So they are in the lava tunnels fighting each other, right? The Nazis have set up base, or the Axis have set up base in the lava tunnels. The Americans are going to go in and destroy them. And what happened is that what they didn't know is that inside the whole inner Earth, the whole like dinosaur tunnels, etc. But I don't want dinosaurs because that's Dinotopia and all that, and I am not interested in Jumanjiing the story. But what was going to happen in the IP or the world in my mind is that uh, they have pockets of high pressure, like where diamonds are made and so on. And these crab things, I call them, um, they are in like super vacuum situations, like they're compressed into a small little crab, and then they can either themselves breach the lava tunnel, so there's a pressure difference, so the air gets sucked into the crab's domain, or they take up human and drag him into the vacuumous area, where all the air sucks into the creatures, you know, or they can attack out and just kind of. And the idea is that when they are in our pressure, they are not so compressed; they can fold out and become larger. And then when they are in compressed vacuum, they are tight, like diamonds. So that's the idea, right? So there's three factions, two which are human, third is the evil enemy, murder crabs. Uh, and on Friday, I was talking through the process of coming to those conclusions. Like what do they look like? Why should they have interlocking um, areas for their joints? Um, for example, the cavity and this guy, all these things, right? I'm kind of walking you through it, trying to figure out what are the unique selling points about this creature, like the recipe. And today I felt like I'm going to continue developing the idea. Hey, Valencia Graphics, how's it going? World building is a blast. Indeed it is. I love it. It's a pretty cool idea here. There's these, in the movie Silence of the Lambs, they had this skull bee. The head is really cool. It's so neutral, but deadly. Kind of, it's a pretty cool idea. I'm gonna try to incorporate it. So I kind of like this. Overall, I like the proportions. I don't like the way the cavity is in the body. Um, but I do want to keep exploring it. I don't read your monster at all. Right. Then I will show you. So he is facing right. Here's the head. And the body is split in the middle. I'm unsure about what the head should look like. But at the moment it's a little bit in my mind like a skull. But not obviously a skull, but something flat like. And then he has elbow here, shoulder here, here's the shoulder, wrist, fingers, back leg, spine, belly. Ricky. Yeah, I know. Um, it's because it's very undefined. I feel you. I feel the same. Um, Goblin. I tend to do a lot of this thinking because in the end, if you're gonna design something for, let's say, a massive AAA game, you don't want to design vapid things, you know, that is just a throwaway when they're gonna try to build a product on it, and they're gonna have marketing campaigns, and they're gonna have you know, hype trailers and all these things. And if it's just a generic idea, doesn't matter how well I draw the generic idea, it will still, when they do all those trailers and movies and so on, it's bound to just come off as flat. So the stronger the idea you have, the better it can translate into acting, in terms of behavior of the subject, right? They could highlight the function that you've designed. You know, let's say in this case, in these pressure crabs, you know, you could see them being compressed and then they unfold, chuk, 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 and they're like, oh wow, that's a really cool, look at that creature. That alone could be a selling point. But if I would have just gone with one of the top 3 ones, you know, it would have done the same effect of being like an alien crab or an enemy crab, right? And you would automatically fill the gaps seeing it potentially, but it's never the same as a fully fledged design worked out and with the full range, and you minimize interpretation and you maximize impression. What I mean by that is you don't want the viewer to assume things, right? That's the worst thing when you see like a sneak preview of something. They show something cool, and then you build a picture out of that, of what it's going to be, and then you see the final product and you go like, there's nothing like the sneak preview. And that's why, because they've just, for example, just picked the cool parts that don't necessarily belong to each other, and you have interpreted what you've been seen or been shown, right? And you want to minimize that. And when you're designing something, you want to fully explore a subject, fully explore a design, so that whatever part you have in there has a purpose in narrative, purpose in shape, purpose in visuals, you know, all these things. So it's not just randomness. I mean, you can hit gold with randomness too, don't get me wrong, but the interpretation is going to be imposed on it. Even you don't know, you're just doing something cool, you know. Calere Mar. I don't know. I don't want them to be squishy. I want them to come across as black diamonds or lava rock. So I want them to kind of feel angular, almost like stealth bombers in my mind, but organic. I want them to feel like they can walk through lava. And if they are squishy and transparent and stuff, like deep sea things, because deep sea things are transparent and squishy because of pressure. They can't have a skeleton because that will collapse under pressure and the creature will die. So they are more or less all soft body, which can withstand pressure better. Veil, yeah, it's a common design principle, but a lot of people are not talking about it. So it's good that Voter does. It's an important thing to understand. And like Miguel said, there's a lot of washing it down as it passes through people. So the more expressive you are, the more it's going to translate into the end product. Atsuki, yeah, that's really cool. Those little. I've seen that documentary. It's really cool how fast they strike. Obsidian, yeah, something like that. Something like that. French. What? Right. So I think what we've done is we picked the cavity of 3, the intersecting of 2. Look at my writing skills. Amazing, like a doctor. And combined it with 1, which is compressing. I think that's really cool. I think that works. Compressing. We added the half human proportions. And if we're gonna break it down like that, the shape from the side is like a shrimp. And then like that. And that's a quite iconic, readable shape. What's cool, Captain Boss, I want only 4 because of readability, because they're gonna have a lot of quick motions in my mind. If you have 6 legs, that's gonna be a mishmash. So with 4 you have clean articulation, and 4 is also, for me in my mind, more prone for pressure. If you have 6, you're gonna have to deal with 6 points rather than 4. 4 is more even. Veil, yeah, absolutely. You can even go further. You can make probably 6 versions of that. Valencia, yeah, exactly. Um, and if they're gonna be many, there's just gonna be a sea of legs and then a body. So it's not gonna be prone for readability. If this was 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, sure, then 6 legs would be justified. But in my mind, it's like a swarm. Captain Boss. Yeah, maybe. I'm not against it. I'm not saying no. But at the moment, that aspect convolutes the design rather than enhances the design. In one of my lectures in design, I talk about like a test, right, of napkin test, where imagine you're in a bar and you have a ballpoint pen and a bar napkin, and you have to draw the design of the creature, or have you seen this hero, and then you sketch the hero out, right? You can't sit and fiddle with details, and you kind of simplify the design to the point where the design reads really well and everyone knows what Superman is, right? It's the S, the curl on the head, and the V-shaped body and the cape, right? That's Superman. But then you look at the movie of Superman, or any poster or any drawing, is way more complicated than that, right? But if you would give Superman a helmet, you could argue a helmet is not needed for that design, right? Or give him racing stripes on his suit, right? That might convolute the idea. Or what if you remove the S on the chest, or you shave Superman's head? You're then removing things from the design. And take this example, take Iron Man and simplify some of his armor, or I mean, what would one plate do to the design? They wouldn't do anything. You would still read him as Iron Man. Add stuff to him, that would be trickier because he's already noisy. So it's all about like, what's that sweet spot of information where the design have enough? Can you remove, or do you need to add? So that's always, in my mind, that's always something I'm trying to balance. Like I could easily add a second set of legs, but does that bring anything to the design, or does it dilute from the design? Ryan. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. For the aerodynamics. Or any main character in any video game from 2000 to 2010. Everyone is shaved. And talks like Batman. a lot of angry shaved men with weapons. Right. I think I found the design, I would say. I'm definitely not like settled that this is the exact combination of shapes. But I'd say if we look at 1, 2, and 3 up top, each idea is cool, but there's 0 recognizable shapes. The only one that's somewhat recognizable is 1, but that's pushing it. I like what I drew today, concept-wise, idea-wise, shape-wise. Design-wise, I think I need to draw it again, draw it in perspective, figure out what goes where, how do they intersect with each other, but like looking away, looking back at it, I accept it. So that's a good start, And I don't like the fact that this looks like a mouth, even though that's probably what all of you have seen. But I want it to be a little bit insectoid in the mouth part, like a nasty bug. Caloria. Goblin, sure thing, but silhouette is important, especially in a fast-paced game. Especially in a fast-paced game. Story games, their silhouettes don't matter. Yeah, more like mandibles. I still want to design those things. I still want to explore it more. So we're going to do that as well. Tomorrow, probably. Okay, let's find someone to rate, because I got to design stuff for clients. All right, let's raid Tim. Pro 42. That's cool. That's cool. Looking forward to see that if you do. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Have a great day if you're in this part of the world. See you guys tomorrow morning. I'm gonna do the outro and then take you to the raid. So don't go anywhere. Thanks, everyone. Super appreciated. You are fantastic and a bunch of beautiful people that make my morning that much better. Bye, everyone.